Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name's Craig Neeson. We do all sorts of photography, a lot of landscape. Lately we've done macro and some abstract stuff out in the field because, quite frankly, Missouri has this brownish gray thing going until we start getting a lot of rain in April, which we're due to get sometime in the next few days, some more rain. So we're back at a location that we were at last week because I saw this gorgeous piece of Missouri driftwood. This was settled here probably by a flood because there's river silt sand trapped in it, and it's got all this gnarly bark and decay on the root side of the stump. So I noticed that this had some really cool side light when we were here last time, and we're about the right time because I'm starting to see the side light come in and highlight the areas that I want. So I've got my 14 to 24 mil on. I'm actually at f9 to get a little bit more depth of field across the focal plane. It's still going to blur out a little bit on the edges of the bulbous eye. It's just how that is. Even if I was to do some focus stacking, it would still get a little blurry out there. So I'm going to take a few frames of this and show them to you right now. Okay, so let me walk you through the composition here real quick. We got the side light coming in, and geez, it's really kicking off again. So we got side light right through here and back a little bit farther, and then we've got some shadow. Now I've had to crank the settings on the video for the Nikon so that you can see what I'm talking about, because if I have them set other than at f4.5, it's way too dark. But I think the composition's pretty cool with all the side light in here. In fact, I'm going to kick it back over to stills mode and reset up my comp, make sure it's where I want it. Get me back up to f9, and it looks like it's going to be about 1/5 of a second. 10-second timer's going. And I think I'm also going to rotate it so that we have a portrait orientation on this shot too. I might bracket that one real quick just so that I have it. So I'm going to go over aperture priority on my camera, and I'm going to turn on bracketing, and I'm going to do a 3-stop bracket. So it's two stops under and 2 stops over on the bracket from what I know to be the proper exposure. So what it will do is it will vary the shutter speed in this instance instead of using the ISO. We'll talk about the exposure triangle in a later video. I'm still working on that one. So now that gives me a blue sky and gives me all the way through, way too blown out so that I can get my shadows back fully if I need to. So now I'm going to set it up to do a portrait orientation real quick. Because I think this, and if I tilt down just a little bit, back it off just a little bit more, this might be an actual keeper of a shot. I'm going to bracket this one. F9, 40th of a second is the base exposure, and then we'll go 2 stops over and 2 stops under with the shutter speed, just in case we need it. And then I'll take a base frame in manual mode as well. That looks pretty good. I might actually get in closer if I can with this lens. If not, I've got the NiSi Close Up filter, and I've got the 85-1.8, which I could slap on too. So let's see how those portrait orientation photographs turn out. I'm also going to slap on the 85-1.8 and the NiSi and get in closer and try to get some of the detail on this, because it's just too cool. It's real gnarly. Okay, so for the third composition of this piece of a Missouri Driftwood, as I'm calling it, I'm doing a focus stack with the close-up filter on the 85-1.8, and I've got to hurry because I'm losing light so fast. So I don't have a lot of time to talk you through it. Yeah, so this is going to be my first focus stack because I can actually use this subject to do it the way that I'm shooting it. So it's looking pretty good still. Haven't lost my exposure settings, so I'm gonna have to check my histogram after this one. Oh man, 80 degrees first week of April. It's kind of scary actually. Histogram looks good on that one. That one, it's a little bit over. It should be the first one. All right. Let's see if we can get a sunset. Here's the focus stack. So after editing this focus stack and trying my best, I just didn't have the information I needed for that right side of the image to come in. The D600 lacks focus points far enough out to grab it. And my eyes aren't what they used to be, so manual focus wasn't an option. But with all the other points that I had, I'm really happy with the majority of this image. I'd probably just crop it to a square. Tell me what you think down below in a comment. Well, it looks like that focus stack of the roots of the tree is going to be the last image tonight. I was hoping to get a sunset at this location because last time we were here we had this awesome sunset and I did a time lapse of it with the GoPro. So I had both the Osmo Pocket set up and the GoPro set up for time lapses. The Osmo Pocket does a really cool time lapse that can pan. I don't think that's going to turn out to be much because these clouds are barely moving, unfortunately. And Shelly and I are both out here doing the wave of hatred, as Mr. Photo Tripper says. So I think that's going to do it for this week. And if you haven't yet done so, hit that subscribe button if you like this video. Give me a comment down below as to which composition or shot number you like the best this week, and try to give me some input as to why. I'd like to hear that. I'd appreciate the feedback. So give me a thumbs up if you haven't done that. Leave the comment down below and subscribe if you definitely haven't done it, and hit the bell so that you get future notifications when I release new videos. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time.